So, as much as we're unpacking about Trump's tariffs, it's so much. He did say some slightly true things yesterday, like it is true. There's a 295.5% tax on American dairy coming into Canada. If, and only if, the amount of dairy brought into Canada by America exceeds a quota. How many times has that quota been hit in all the years this agreement has been in place? 0. Canada is not saying we don't want your dairy. Hell, what you guys do to string cheese is kind of revolutionary. We're fans. But, we have to protect Canadian dairy farmers. So we'll let you bring in this much. No more. If you try, we'll charge you 300%. It won't be worth it to you. It's not like you can't find American dairy in Canada. As a matter of fact, the ice cream aisle was a lot American. So technically, Trump did say something that was almost true, off by 0.5%, but also the other part of the story is it's not like we've never let an American slice of cheese across the border. We literally let metric tons of dairy across the border, just not enough to impact Canadian dairy farmers, which makes sense. And then there were other things that you were just like, yeah, I feel like this is untrue, but I don't know for sure. Well, people sat down today, at the forefront, economists were looking at it, how close are we to crashing, the world's economy? And then other people started looking at the numbers, and they were like, these tariff percentages are just not right. And it's like in New Jersey, sales tax varies by county. So you can't just say oh, it's 7%, it's 6.25, it's 7 point whatever, but now people have actually sat down once they got past the anxiety attack, and they realized the tariffs Trump put up on his chart yesterday, because we love a chart, we love a Sharpie, and we love a chart. If you take the debt we have to that country and divide it by our trade with that country, that percentage is the percentage that Trump had on his chart. It's a big number. It's a good number. Who doesn't love 37%? That's not actually the tariff rate. It's a good number, but it's just as made up as any other number. But, good number crunchers were like, how did they come up with this number? Which means somebody in the Trump administration was, in the room where this meeting happened, and they were talking about, here's our debt, here's what we spend, apparently in column Z was, the actual tariffs being charged by these countries. Simple, didn't scroll over. This number looks good, let's use these. So an hour after this went live, people noticed Russia and North Korea weren't on it. Then there was the whole conversation last night about, good, we're taxing empty island. On the off chance penguins ever get really industrious and start to make international trade agreements, we're ahead of them. You live on an island that takes multiple days to get to by boat. What are the odds you're the country that's going to tip the international trade in your favor now that everybody else is under 25% tariffs? I'm glad we have our priorities in order. But now today, people are really sitting down with these numbers and just being like, you could have lied and they would have probably been more accurate. I'd like to remind you, this is not fudging your homework. This is not giving how many people you've slept with by a factor of 3. This is the President of the United States. And not just drawing on a Sharpie where he thinks the storm will go. Because, maybe. This is the President of the United States announcing to the world math that ain't mathin'. Any questions on how Trump has continuously failed in business? I've prepared more for job interviews than Trump has prepared to let the world know what we're going to tariff them. It's beyond embarrassing. But in a few short years with the cuts to education, it might be our future best hope of how things are going to look when other people try to do similar math. The answer is 6. Because I can only count to 1, 8, 5, 3, 7, 6. 6 is the